Who doesn't like to daydream? Maybe as a kid you daydreamed of being a future athlete or being a millionaire or world famous something something something. Maybe as you got a little bit older your dreams turned to what college you were going to or what your future career would look like. Even after that, maybe your dreams started looking more like who was your future spouse and what is it like to have a family. Who really doesn't like to daydream? Daydreaming was and is still pretty awesome. So why don't we daydream together? I'm Jay. This is Jay's Cryptic Creatures. Come on, let's learn something together. The reptile and invert hobby are notorious for getting large collections rather quickly. Take, for example, tarantulas. They are significantly easier to take care of than, say, dogs, and they don't take up a lot of room. It's really not uncommon for you to pick up one tarantula, then another, then several more, and then a bunch more, and next thing you know, you're looking at 50 of them. Snakes are really no different, right? Keeping snakes, aren't a tremendous amount of work. They can get housed in a relatively small area and don't take up a huge amount of time, so you can get a pretty big collection. With that being said, there is typically a limit to what we can reasonably keep. It would be awesome to have a Komodo dragon. Legality aside, most folks don't have the acreage it would take to house such a beast. With that in mind, I thought it'd be fun to create a list of reptiles that I would love to keep. The list will go from almost certainly never being able to keep to maybe potentially could keep. This should be pretty fun, and I would really love to hear from you all what reptiles you would love to keep in the future. Please leave a comment at the end of this video. It'll be really neat to have a community chat about what your dream species would be. Without further ado, let's get to the list. Let's start off with venomous snakes. Now, I'm not talking rear-fanged venomous. I'm talking hot, like a viper or a cobra, things of that nature. What stinks is some of the most beautiful snakes in the world are also pretty venomous. Take, for instance, the blue Insularis. Here's a video from Tyler Nolan. They are really just striking creatures. The head shape, the bright, vibrant blue, they almost don't look real. Or a personal favorite of mine is the Gaboon viper. The first time I got a chance to see a Gaboon viper up and nerd up close, I was blown away. The cryptic pattern, the color, the size, the head is humongous. Really never seen an animal, a snake in particular, with a body shape like that. They were really something to behold. But if it really came down to it, if I were to keep a snake, it would have to be a king cobra. Um, they are amazing. Obviously, I don't keep them. Um, every time I get a chance to go up to Nerd and get into that venomous room and see this huge snake, and there's just something about their eyes. They are so thoughtful, so intelligent. You can see them calculating, assessing, understanding or trying to understand what's happening and who you are. They are really an incredible animal. So why would I never keep a venomous snake? Well, I think the answer is pretty obvious. One, I would be hard pressed to keep an animal that could potentially, you know, put my life in jeopardy or my family's life in jeopardy. It's just a risk reward thing. For me personally, I'm not there, nor do I ever think I would be there to take on that level of risk. Um, Additionally, in my state of Massachusetts, it's just frankly illegal to own venomous snakes. So there's no reason for me to even consider it because legally I can't do it. Again, lucky for me, I have New England Reptile Distributors, Nerd, less than an hour from where I currently live. So if I ever get the jonesing to go check out these incredible animals up close and personal, I can hop into a car on a Saturday and be there within an hour and sit there and be able to take in these incredible animals. Asian water monitors are a incredible animal. They can get huge, up to 6 feet long, potentially 100 pounds. They are a true living dinosaur. As some of you may know, I do keep an Argentine black and white tegu here at the house. There's just something different about a monitor. Um, so, of the different species of monitors, right? You have black throats, white throats, rock, etc. I think for me, it would be the kind of air quote classic uh, Asian water monitor would be the monitor that I would keep. I would love to do it. Um, Again, they are an incredible animal. They really having a dinosaur living with you with a high level of intelligence. If we were to even go slightly deeper in the Asian water monitor world, I think it would have to be the black dragon. Again, I have a proclivity to black, and it's just having a big water monitor with just fully black is just an impressive sight. So, why could I not or would not keep an Asian water monitor? Well, for starters, like venomous snakes, all monitor species except for Ackies are illegal to own in Massachusetts. So that kind of puts a kibosh immediately on keeping that monitor. Additionally, as we were just talking, they get huge. Chubbs, my tegu, his enclosure is 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot, and that really wouldn't do this monitor justice. Aside from just the square footage of the enclosure, they're a water monitor. You need to have a significant, almost pond or tub or bathtub. This is a level of commitment that is huge. We're talking about probably a guest room would would be the size that you're looking for, and for myself and probably for most other folks, it's that commitment and is a bridge too far to keep them properly. Although I would love to, just can't do it. The next animal on the list is the Aldabra tortoise. These animals can get 4 foot in length on the shell and weigh over 500 pounds. They are really boulders with legs. The largest free roaming Aldabra tortoise that was ever recorded was actually over 670 pounds. It is just massive. But sort of like we were talking about with some of these other creatures, there is something about their face, their age, and their size. They're just, epic, epic animals. If it's not Aldabra, Salcadas, when you go to, petting zoos or other zoo places, quite often they have these animals there, and there's just something. I think the proper word is majestic. There's just majestic creatures that are almost works of fiction. And then when you get a chance to interact with one and scratch the shells or scratch underneath their chin, it is such a special experience. They are an truly amazing animal. So, why would I not consider keeping one? Well, size plays a role in this animal as well. Like we discussed, they get absolutely huge. On top of that, they can eat you out of house and home. These animals consume tons of vegetation, maybe a little protein mixed in there, but they just eat a tremendous amount. On top of that, right? What are you going to do with a 500-pound tortoise? You just can't, pick it up and scoot it around. As hatchlings, they're adorable. They're really tiny tortoises, and you know, for lack of a better, really cute. They continue to grow, and then the enclosure gets a little bigger, and then a little bigger, and then you have to take up a room in your house. At a certain point, a room in your house isn't big enough, right? And then, like a person like me living in like I said, Massachusetts, where we have winters, You just can't leave them outside. So they're going to have to come in at some point. And then, you have a multi-100-pound tortoise that you're trying to move from spot A to spot B, get it upstairs. It is just too much. Finally, we have to talk about the life expectancy. To be very honest, that tortoise would be a commitment not just to you, potentially not just your children, maybe your grandchildren. Living well over 100 years old, this will have to be passed down in wills. Um, that's a huge commitment that should not be taken lightly. The next animal is a Caiman lizard. Why is this a dream lizard? I mean, come on, look at this thing. You got the green body, you got the orange head, the black eyes. It's really a tegu cross with a caiman. These things are awesome looking. Um, they are aquatic, semi-aquatic, so like the Asian water monitor, except they are fractional in size. These guys will get 2 to 4 feet, so the swimming area is significantly reduced. Um, an 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot enclosure could very well work for these guys if you set it up correctly. Um, you could have a slice of a jungle living in your house with the terrarium and the animal combined. It would be absolutely amazing. Earlier this year, I got a chance to spend time at Iguanaland and interact with a couple of their Cayman lizards down there. The staff was great. We had them out. We were really talking about the husbandry and the care, and they were just gems. Again, in Massachusetts, I wouldn't be able to keep them outside all year round, but you could, finagle a way to have them outside part of the year. They could just be a really, really cool lizard to have. Again, not outside of the realm of possibilities, just not yet for me. So some of the downsides and why I don't have one right now. Like we discussed, again, the enclosure isn't the same size as you would need for an Asian water monitor, but it's still a huge enclosure with a significant water feature inside of it. Not a pond, but still a water feature. And anybody that's kept fish or turtles knows that keeping water clean is that's a full-time endeavor in and of itself. Coupled that with, they have a bit of a unique diet where they eat shrimp, predominantly snails. So that exotic diet could make it a little bit troublesome getting proper prey items for them to eat. Now there are avenues, and Amazon or other animal supply places can ship to you, so it's not impossible. It's just a little bit more difficult than just swinging by a normal expo or your normal reptile place. The final reptile on this list, and the one with the highest probability of me keeping as a pet, is the rhino iguana. So why is this one the one with the highest probability? Well, there's a couple reasons. The animal itself is amazing looking. Again, kind of a living dinosaur. They get impressively large. Um, they tame down quite well. They have tons of personality, and just the texture and attitude, we can say, it makes them a really unique pet. In my opinion, it would be, way easier to have a rhino iguana, say, than a green iguana. Earlier this year, I got a chance to hang out down at Iguanaland, and I was specifically went down there to talk with the keepers down there to get kind of firsthand experience on keeping rhino iguanas, what level of husbandry they need, what can I do outside, what can I do inside, what the diet looks like. And again, the staff was fantastic. We had some good one-on-one time. I was able to hang out with their star iguana, Donkey Kong, which was awesome. Again, great experience. I highly recommend swinging down to swinging by Iguanaland if you're in the Central Florida region. So why haven't I gotten a rhino iguana yet? Well, there is some nuance. They do get large, right, as we talked about, but again, not tremendously bigger than my current tegu. But I would like to try to keep them outside for part of the year. So it's more me navigating building outdoor enclosures and then having indoor space for the winter months, how I'm going to do that. I'm well into the planning stages of this. Hopefully, in the coming months or years, I end up picking up my first Rhino iguana. I would highly stay tuned and check in periodically, because don't be surprised if one will make an appearance. Hope you folks enjoyed the video. I had fun making it. Uh, the fact is, if I were to do this video in a week or several weeks or a year, the list would probably change, right? There's so many cool reptiles out there. Please leave a comment, start a discussion. I'd love to hear what reptiles you would like to keep as pets. And, as we're doing this right now, I'm kind of shaking my head a bit. I wish I would have included a black throat monitor. They're really cool. Their head shape is just super cool looking. But maybe that's for the next list. With all that being said, please like, subscribe, and we can continue learning about dream reptiles and tarantulas and snakes and tegus together. Until next time.